Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be hopefully a quicker video as I only have two fragrances to talk about this time, and that is My Way and My Way Intense.
So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say.
So, if you haven't heard of Giorgio Armani My Way, it is a heavy tuberose fragrance. So if you don't like tuberose, I wouldn't recommend it at all. But it is a tuberose fragrance that I particularly enjoy, and I was going to purchase the full size, and then they came out with the intense, and then I was conflicted, so then I didn't purchase the full size because I wanted to try the intense. So I purchased the intense, and now I have a different opinion. So let's start with My Way. And I'm gonna spray both of these on me. I don't currently have a fragrance on, but I'm gonna spray. So on my left hand, I will be spraying My Way. This is the original. As you can see, it's half done, so it's the one I had the longest. And then this here is My Way Intense, and you wouldn't know. This is My Way Intense, and it's just because it says Intense on the bottom there. And then when you take it out, it's got a blue, when you take it out, it's got a blue base, whereas the original doesn't have that. All right, so that's how we're keeping things in line. So Intense is now gonna go on my right hand, and then we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So I have tried these out, and I was conflicted. I'm hoping I can make a decision in this video, but let's talk about it. So the original My Way, main accords are white floral, tuberose, citrus, and malic. Top notes are orange blossom and bergamot, middle notes are tuberose and Indian jasmine, and the base notes are Madagascar, vanilla, white musk, and Virginia cedar. So I really like this scent. I've already declared that I already like this scent. I used to wear it all, in the summer I wore it all the time. And it, yes, is a very tuberose forward scent. There is a bit of bergamot, gives it freshness in the middle, freshness in the beginning, and there's a little bit of vanilla, but most of the sweetness is coming from the tuberose. It's kind of bubblegummy, and that musk cedar kind of just grounds this, so it's not so one note flat. Gives it a bit of an interesting dynamic. So that is the original My Way Intense. Main accords are white floral, tuberose, citrus, vanilla. Then there's woody, animalic, and powdery. So it's got more main accords as per Fragrantica. The top notes are orange blossom, bitter orange. Middle notes are Indian tuberose and regular tuberose. There's no jasmine. And the base notes are Madagascar, vanilla, and sandalwood instead of musk and cedar. So I think I just decided which one I like. They smell so close. They do smell so close. They are flankers of each other. So a lot of times you see lines that have flankers, and it's just like either they don't belong in the same ballpark or they're just like completely different fragrances. But these are close enough because they share their biggest note is tuberose in both fragrances. So they're just tuberose fragrances. So they smell alike. And because tuberose is so front forward in both of them, they smell really alike. Now, what I will say is, if you have the original, I don't think you need both. Now that's to each your own. If you smell them and they smell completely different to your nose, that's your business. But I don't think you need both. However, they still, both are fairly bubblegummy, but the original is like if you got Hubba Bubba original bubblegum, and the intense is like if you got Hubba Bubba watermelon bubblegum. Like, they have the exact same base thing going on, but like the intense has something added to it to make it a little bit more intricate. Not to say it smells like watermelons, that was just kind of an example. It's not as, so the intense is not as sweet, and the bubblegummy sweetness of it is not as sharp. It's a little bit smoother, and it's not as synthetic. I wouldn't say the original smells synthetic, but that bubblegum tuberose is like there. And the one in the intense is smoother, so it just comes off as less synthetic, if that makes sense. Because usually when something is synthetic, it's sharper. So it comes off as less intense. It has more levels to it, whereas like I'm moving my hands back and forth and I can smell the fragrance. From here, it smells a little bit different than when I smell my hand, whereas the original smells the same no matter what proximity you are to the fragrance. I didn't think the change in citrus would do anything, but I think the bitter orange is a softer note compared to the bergamot. And a lot of people say that the intense is just the original but with more vanilla, but I don't even think vanilla is what I'm smelling, to be honest. I think the tuberose itself is just softer, it's smoother, more refined, and maybe that is the vanilla, but I don't even think that the intense is sweeter than the original. Okay, so if I had to pick one, it would be the intense. Now, I don't own the full size of the original, so I'm giving myself that ability to purchase just the intense. But my thing is, like, I really do like the original. Like, I obviously I wore it a lot, but the intense is good, like really good. It also does this thing, like when you breathe it in, it's like on the inhale you get, you know, the tuberose, the tuberose, the orange, you know, that the top notes, and then when you're exhaling you get the rounded finish of the fragrance, and you get the cedar, that vanilla, and it's like this back sweetness to it. The original doesn't do that, or at least not for me. So there's just so much more of an experience. It's so much more complex, so much more, it's like more well blended. It's more interesting. You really get that base, that middle, that end. There's just more levels to it, and I think I prefer it. It also has sandalwood in it, which I love. And I would layer this with like a sandalwood oil. That'd be so nice. Or you could even add more vanilla with a vanilla oil. And I've tried the original with a vanilla oil and it doesn't smell like the intense. So it's not just that there's more vanilla in it. Yeah, I think I prefer the intense. Now, I have both of the travel sizes, so I'm not going to be buying either of them anytime soon, or at least not right now. I kind of want to play with them a little bit, see if I really am set on the intense, but I think I wouldn't even call it like a daytime, nighttime. Like, I guess you could layer them. because like technically the original would be brighter, more vibrant, because the tuberose is more loud and not as soft. So technically, yeah, you could wear the original in the day and the intense more in the nighttime, but I would get the intense and wear it all the time. All the time. I think the intense is more versatile because it just has so much more going on. It's just more transitional. It's doing more things than the original does. Yeah. It's just the more refined. It's like it's more wisdomous. It's grown up a little bit. It's got a little bit more under its belt, you know. Yeah, it's like the same fragrance, but intense is just a little bit more, like it's got a little bit more to it. It's hard to explain fragrances. This is really difficult, but I prefer the intense. I would urge you to smell them, especially if you own one of them already. I would urge you to smell both of them. I prefer the intense. The intense kind of pulls towards Dior Poison Girl. They don't smell the same, but it kind of pulls more in that direction, whereas the original pulls more into So Scandal territory in terms of tuberose. So if you have either of those fragrances, that could kind of help. But yeah, I just urge that you try them both, especially if you don't own them yet, because you might surprise yourself in that department. Or if you're like me and you had the travel size for one of them and you were looking to buy the full size, I just say try them both. I have now both the travel sizes, so I'm just gonna, you know, revel in them a bit, see if it's which one is worth my time, or if I need both. I don't think I need both. I'm gonna really try not to get both. But yeah, so that is my little review on the My Way fragrances. I really like this fragrance line. It's really nice. I know it's kind of crowd pleasing, but it is a very nice fragrance. So if you're interested, I would just urge you to take a look at them. Even in Canada, the Sephoras have the Intense in store, so you can try it there. But thank you for watching, and if you do, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.